Trical, you know I'm the technical difficulty queen. Huh, now let me speak again. Thank you, Trical, for coming up in here. Caitlin, thanks for coming in here. I was asking y'all how was y'all day. I was saying my day seemed to be really long and busy, but it wasn't all that busy, but it just seemed extremely long. Like the hours would take where like I had a long day, like the time wasn't getting away from me. It seems like it was like moving at a slow pace, like yes. Oh my god, that's too funny. Y'all know I'm too funny with that. Yes, that all I'm saying. Thanks for everybody who's in the chat because we have 2 people in the chat and we have 4 likes. So that means even if people came and left, they still came and showed love by hitting the like button and went on about their way. And I can't complain about that. I be complaining about people not hitting the like button. They say, here, I ain't got time to stay, but here's the like you get ready to start whining about. That's what I think. So tonight we're hoping, or I'm definitely hoping that some of the men come in the building because the information that I got on men and unresolved trauma, I really feel like this could be a lesson learned or some really good tips or information, period, to women as well as men, but to give us some insight on what our men may be going through when they have unresolved trauma. I was so impressed. I was like, I need to copy this information, text it to my ex-husband and say, it ain't for my good or nothing, but for your own good. And when you move forward with somebody, read through this and see what resonates with you. Because I can see a whole bunch. I don't know what resonate with him now, but from if when I look back, I see so much of this in here. I was like, what could have happened? Like something they were just like laying out on like the symptoms and everything and what can happen if this. And I was like, oh my God, they described him almost to a T. So yes, they should be able to really take this information and go with the house on Monday. Our Monday was pretty good, Caitlin. It was like I said, it was a little bit long and drawn out, but other than that, I had a good Monday. Just waiting so I can do this live and get this information to y'all. Because once I get it, I'll be ready to share it, y'all. I'm like, oh, when I get all these points and I try to research little things, like, because a lot of times I don't want to come on like just with my opinion. So I always feel like, yes, I can have an opinion on something, but I can't start giving suggestions to people on what they should do without trying to do some research to make sure that sounds like the right thing to do. Like I'm not a man, so I can't really say how I feel as a man with unresolved trauma. So let me look up some information that may be something that they can resonate with. You know what I mean? So yes. Chanel said, wow, yes, really. So hopefully in a minute we get our men on here. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes. If we don't, we just going to talk about it. And if they don't make it, they can always catch this replay. But even more than the men that might come in the room today, if you have men in your lives like a son, uncle, father, brother, cousins, or whatever, share this information and tell them to take a look at this live, because to me it was a lot of, y'all can tell me how y'all feel about it when I'm finished, but it was just a lot of good information in here that I want to share. So but I want to waste a lot of time waiting for people to come in, because then that's how we get into those 2-3 hour lives. So I don't want to keep people who are here now too much longer when I know y'all ain't got time to be sitting here all night. So yes, so the topic is going to mainly be discussing men with unresolved trauma. We're going to be talking about men with what is unresolved trauma, why why it affects the men differently, like maybe differently than it does women. The fear of weakness, suppressing emotions, the impact on relationships. So it's a lot of stuff, y'all. It's a lot of stuff. So I want to make sure I get all that stuff going, because if anything, it can be more like a video, if not the people in the chat. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right into it. So this topic is pretty much underexplored. They describe it as a topic that's underexplored, and I believe that because we talk to a lot of men who don't feel like they can have a voice when it comes to trauma. It's primarily for women, and women to kind of dive into that, which can be very unfair. But I want to just bring to the spotlight that men have trauma too. They have trauma too. It could be a lot of the reasons or how they feel a lot of the times, right? Okay, so when unresolved, when the trauma is unresolved, it can have an impact on mental health, behavior, and relationships. So when we have these men in relationships, or wondering why their behavior is a certain way, or they have mental health going in this direction or that direction, it could definitely be due to unresolved trauma. Okay. So, what is trauma? It refers to a person's emotional, psychological, or physical response to events or experiences that are overwhelming, distressing, or harmful. Okay, that's what they define trauma as being across the board. These experiences might include abuse, neglect, violence, loss, accidents, or exposure to life threatening situations. Okay, those are the things that cause trauma and leave men where they end up having unresolved trauma when it's not treated. Okay, so let's see what is unresolved trauma. We said what trauma is. Unresolved trauma is when a person has not processed or healed from the traumatic events in their life. If they haven't healed from all those traumatic events, it will be leading to lingering emotional and psychological effects that can affect many areas in their lives. Okay, let me see. So, why does trauma affect men differently? Like we think a lot of times that we men and women accept trauma or go through trauma in the same way, and that's not true. Men actually take on different stances and unresolved trauma, or taking in trauma in the mindset much differently than a female does. That's it's supposed to be proven factual. That's what I went to go research. Okay, so the first thing they said is cultural expectations of masculinity. That's one of the things that is that affects them separately or differently than a female. Cultural expectations of masculinity. Society dictates that men should be strong and self-reliant, discouraging emotional vulnerability and expression of pain. And we know this because when babies are smaller or when they're very young, we want to teach them, like man up, be a man, boys don't cry, men don't whine, all of that. So all of that suppresses their emotions and makes them become less vulnerable. Okay, which might make a difference in their behaviors. For this reason, it can prevent men from seeking out help or talking about their trauma, causing it to remain unresolved because we put into them that they don't have a right to have that talk or share their experience or what they're feeling. We suppress those feelings that they have. So, unlike women who are more prone to talk to their friends and family members, more outspoken, then the men are held to this regard that causes them to refrain from sharing what their emotions are. Okay, so when you're suppressing those emotions, many men are socialized to hide their emotions and deal with difficult situations on their own, and they are sometimes not equipped to do that. But because we have socialized them to thinking that they have to figure it out no matter what the situation is. This is what the lasting effect from that is. Much like the term "man up," like I said. And how do when we think about that, how do we expect for the men to man up when they are human, just like we are? If they don't have the coping mechanisms or the tools in their toolbox to work through something, we can't just throw man up out there because it's deeper than that. It's deeper. They have to be equipped with what they need to be able to man up about any situation, actually. Okay, as a result, they may suppress their feelings like sadness or fear or grief, leading to emotional numbness, anger, or avoidable or avoidance behavior. When they start to avoid certain situations, it could impact their behavior and how they handle different things. Let me say, hey, Blessings, I got my in chat. Mine's listening while driving home from work. Okay, that's good. Thanks, Blessings, for coming in. So the fear of weakness. Men can fear weakness. So when they've suffered through trauma, this impacts them to have a fear of weakness. Admitting to trauma can be perceived as a weakness. Like they women sometimes can say, okay, go see somebody or go talk to somebody, and it's even though society has put that a stigma on that, but for men it's a lot, it's there more prominent for them. So just the thought of admitting to the trauma can be perceived as a weakness, especially in cultures where they're expected to be protectors or providers or something like that. Hey, Caitlin, how you doing? So this fear, the fear of weakness, this fear of being seen as weak or not man enough, quote unquote, not man enough, can make it harder to seek therapy or emotional support. So our men are literally staying in that because they don't want to be vulnerable enough to go seek therapy or share these emotional experiences or thoughts that they're having with anybody without being um perceived as being weak, because they don't want to be vulnerable and have those stigmas put on them and feeling like they're not man enough for something. Okay. The topics of I'm sorry, topics. No, I'm sorry. I'll be reading uh Caitlin's comment right there. Okay, the types of trauma. What types? Okay, hold on. Blessing wants me to drop the link because she probably driving and looking like I can't be typing in this chat. Okay, blessings. I just dropped the link. So when we talk about the types of trauma, there are different types of trauma. So you have childhood abuse. Childhood abuse can be emotional, physical. Pick it up. I'm sorry. Pick it up to the house. Pull it up to the house. I think she's trying to say, okay, 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 I got you. So types of trauma. Childhood abuse, like emotional, physical, or sexual, can impact self-esteem, a man's self-esteem, their emotional regulation within themselves, and relationship patterns. So childhood abuse can affect that. It can also affect through combat. Combat trauma is another type of trauma. People who serve in the military, they're exposed to really high levels of stress, environments, violence, even death, things like that. When you are upon things like that, that's going to put you in a different mental state, and that is a form of trauma that can be long lasting if it's not treated. Stress is, and it can also cause PTSD, which is post traumatic stress disorder. And if it's not treated, this can be something that will affect them in their life with friends, family, relationships for the rest of their lives. So, another type of trauma is the loss of loved ones. The loss of loved ones, the death of a loved one can cause deep emotions, pain, but hold on, y'all. But that trauma is often under processed in men due to societal expectations to quickly move on or just tough it out. Hey, blessings.
Hey, beautiful. How are you
Hey,
today?
how you doing?
I'm so blessed. Thank you for asking. How are
Good.
you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, that's good. You look
Yeah.
good, girl. You look like you 4K plus, girl.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Yes. Definitely 4K.
And you and I both, and a lot of the mothers up in here are boy moms.
Uh huh.
And I just don't and I'm I was fortunate to have
Hmm.
my son's fathers in their lives. Well, my oldest son's father, but my youngest son's father, he didn't want to need to hear this SHIT,
Yeah.
this SHIT
Yeah.
capital, but
Right.
his family stands in the paint for him.
Hmm.
Um and it's but even when I see his grandfather, it's just so many it's men need therapy,
Yes, they do.
and it's getting different. It's becoming different as time goes on.
Right.
Like, these men need therapy. They have to understand, because, and I'm sorry if I take it into a different direction.
No, go ahead.
But the thing is that a lot of young men are raised with just their mothers,
Hmm.
and my sons are like that. Besides my oldest son and my youngest son, he's raised with his father's side of the family, plus me, and
Uh-huh.
well, me and them.
Right.
But the thing is that it takes a toll, because even with my youngest son, I told him when he was younger, I said, I think once you hit high school, I'm gonna start putting you in therapy, just so that
Right.
you can understand who you are, the
Yeah.
man you're becoming, and how to get through life, because I
Right.
can't
Right.
teach you everything. And
Right.
even though, and what people fail to realize is that a lot of these kids, and I'm
Hmm.
talking about young men, they
Hmm.
are raised in the same household with their mothers and their fathers, with their
Right.
mother being the dominant parent and their father's not caring a damn, and they
Hmm.
don't learn nothing from
Right.
their fathers, or their
Yeah.
fathers are too abusive, or the
Hmm.
fathers are wrong in the worst way.
Right. Right.
And we see it. We see it
Yeah.
firsthand. And I tell my
Hmm.
son, I'm like, don't ever feel guilty or bad that you are being raised in a household with a single parent. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Because even though your father is not here to protect you, provide for you,
Hmm.
you have his blood in you, and you are still a strong man.
Right.
You are
Absolutely.
still a
Yeah.
man, because there are good traits and there are bad traits. I can't always just put down his dad because
Yeah.
I had a baby by him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
there are men who actually get married. You know what I'm saying, Gamma? They get
Hmm.
married and then get divorced, and they don't never mess with the kids.
Oh, never, never. That's what happened with my children. He was pretty much done. When we were done, he was pretty much done. That was a done deal.
Yeah, and that boggles
Hmm.
me. I'm like, how do you do that?
Right.
Like, it's crazy to me. Like, you seen this cat come out of me.
Right.
How you been around this cat? How you gonna sit up here just because I don't want to be with you? Don't mean you don't have to be with him.
I think a lot of it comes with the trauma, the unresolved
That
trauma.
trauma. And
Hmm.
his dad was raised with his father and his mother. His mother
Hmm.
didn't work, but his dad was the breadwinner, so he was
Right.
the dominant factor. And back in the 70s and the 80s and the
Hmm.
90s, these men used to dominate their women, and they
Right.
used to do mean things to them,
Hmm.
where the
Right.
kids had to step in and protect they
Right.
mother. So
Right.
that's part of trauma too. That's that's
Absolutely.
that's a huge trauma when a man has to stand up to his father, the one he's supposed to fear the most, and
Right.
tell him, if you hit my mama again, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That
kill
is
you.
something. It's total abuse. It
That's
might not be
total
physical abuse to
abuse.
them, but it's definitely emotional and mental abuse.
Yes.
Hmm.
So
Hey,
it's
I want to tell
I
you,
love
hey,
this
Suzanne.
topic.
Yeah. Hey,
I
Chill
love
Good.
this topic.
Yeah.
It needs to be heard, it needs to be said, and it needs to come out the gutter so that people can actually feel what they felt and get
Hmm.
over it.
Right.
Because there
Exactly.
are, yeah. So I'm just saying, girl, I'm very passionate about that, because I just
Yeah.
really, our people, it's the clear people, or the Caucasian
Mhm.
people, I should say, and they be like, well, they weren't raised in the same household as they mother and they father. A lot of them were.
Yeah, they were. And when I started this, when I started looking up the information I want to bring, I started off putting in there why well, I put black men with unresolved trauma, but I was like, no, I don't want to say black men because I want to see what they have to say about men in general. This information I have is actually men in general. They did have some deeper information for cultural reasons and things like that, with more defined specific
Mhm.
cultural information. But this is for like men across the board right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it has to be, because it's not just our race.
right.
It's the Caucasians. They're even bad. They're
Yeah,
worse. And it's
exactly.
the Koreans. You don't even, oh God, they're just as bad, if
Yeah,
not worse.
yeah. I
You know
think
what
it
I'm saying?
that period. Yeah.
And the Hispanics, they may stick more together, but they
Still have
are
trauma. I
they
think
we
anybody has
mhm,
trauma. I think anybody
mhm,
has trauma. Now,
yeah.
this is specific to how men are different because they have another, monkey in their back as far as being a man and dealing with trauma. But women, I think everybody can is vulnerable to have trauma in their lives. It's just a matter of how you deal with that, having the tools that you need to try to overcome it. But I'm just finding out when I did, got all this information that men actually carry it differently. And so the
Mhm.
goal is to allow the chat to understand that there are reasonings for this. It's not like they're just trying to be these people always. I know some people don't care about it or are not being genuine about it. But when they have a genuine
Mhm.
trauma, it's some genuine things going on that they really need to work through before they can be the person everybody's expecting them to be. Let me see,
And
Serena.
and it's a lot. It's a lot. Like these kids have a
Yeah,
lot on their shoulders.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
it's a lot. It's getting through high school, and then now that you're in the 11th or about to go into the 12th grade, you have to look at real life now.
right,
You
exactly.
know, and like my son's girlfriend, she hit me up this morning. She was just like, life is lifey, Mrs. Alexander.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah, you're about to graduate in 6 months, baby cup. You better
yeah,
sucker it up because
right,
life is about to be
right,
lifing. Only thing I could tell you is don't have no kids until you are ready. I
right,
mean, these teenagers, they are really um they're starting to look at life as
mhm,
we do. And
right,
it's gonna, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
But sticking on your subject, staying
yeah,
on your subject,
mhm,
going back to that, a
mhm,
lot of these young men that they do have trauma, and
yeah,
they blame it, and some of them may blame it on the mother or the schools or the government or whoever may
yeah,
bring it on the mother because the mother is the dominant figure and the
right,
predominant figure within their lives.
right,
But they don't understand that there are a lot of men out here who are raised with their fathers in the household as well,
right,
and they receive more. It's even sometimes it can be grossly worse
right,
with the father in the house. And
mhm,
I'm not taking away from the father,
yeah.
in his position
Well, it's just
within the
not the end all
household.
of be all. Just like you can have a mom in the house, and it could be the worst thing that she's in the house
Mhm.
too. It really depends on
Exactly.
the person, like as the individual, not even the sex of them, just the male or female. It could be just people who have not worked through what they need to work through to be a parent. As I was reading all these things to bring to the chat, I was like, now that's really a good look at like a lot of these things. Maybe those are things that women and men need to read up on before they decide who's going to be the father or mother to their children. Because a lot of it is saying it's things that the trauma that happened when they were younger, and it's unresolved trauma. And then you get with someone, have babies by these people who have unresolved trauma, and you didn't require them to work through that before you had the child. And then, like, what can you say? If, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're not taking the time out to make sure that people are whole or at least in healing when we decide to have these children.
So let me ask you a question, Gamma.
Mhm.
Why is there still silence?
About the trauma.
Why do people still hold silence? Why is everything on a hush and people afraid to speak their true feelings? Like w-
Well, that part of what I got is what is that? That part they said a little bit. I got
within the household. Do you want me to repeat that? Because I see that you went out a little bit.
no. You're saying why are people being silent about what part? Like seeking out help. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, maybe something happened with blessings. Um, Mike. So she'll let us know when she comes back up. Okay. So we left off on violence and crime. So exposure to violence and crime. we talked about that um, military trauma that people can go through or men can go through. And then we want to talk about violence and crime. Exposure to violence or crime or being a victim of violence can have emotional scars that may go untreated, particularly if men feel shame or feel um, or fear. I'm sorry, or fear around talking about the experience. And I was going to tell y'all about this experience, about that, how that hit home. Let me see. Men are conditioned to be strong. Yes, and I talk about their feelings. Absolutely. And this is an example about being a victim of violence, because when my deceased husband was alive, at that time my mother had a laundromat, and she was having a hard time trusting people in the laundromat because that was before the cards came out and all of that. You literally had to put the money in there. So the person who was there had to have the key to the money box because you had to empty that out. It would get jammed and you have to constantly be emptying that out and taking it into the safe room and all of that kind of stuff. So my deceased husband said that he would help her out on weekends. So he was there with my children. Now I was oh, blessed is back. Okay, blessings, you're back. Yeah, so I
And I
was
don't know what happened. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, no,
no,
no, no,
that's
no. My brother called me because I wanted him to come up here and chat with you with this.
oh, okay,
But
okay.
he drives trucks,
Yeah.
and he was like he's a manager of a
Hmm.
trucking company, and he
Yeah.
has a truck and they got cameras all through there. So he said he
Oh, yeah,
can't
yeah.
do
They
it.
watch those cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
Hmm.
giving the example. Okay, so my deceased husband was in the laundromat with my. He had my children with him that day, so they're just hanging out. They just hanging out at the laundromat, and I was, I think, like across the street. And so all of a sudden, he called and said that they had just been robbed, and I'm like, what do
Mm.
you mean rob? So of course, my mother, my father, we all go there like, what do you mean rob? This man literally came in there and put a gun up to his head with my children there. He told my children to go in the bathroom, so they were in the bathroom. And he told them to close the door, don't come out of the door. For some reason, the grace of God or whatever, he did not actually shoot him. He couldn't get anything from the machines or anything. You know, a laundromat is locked up. But
Hmm.
that he just said whatever he had to say and ran out, and then that traumatized that whole situation. Traumatized my. It's nothing that he actually said, but I could tell by his facial expression how he was like a week after that, where because of those violent and criminal activities that happen, men can be they can be vulnerable to being a victim, that can make them
Hmm.
feel like, that's a traumatizing situation, and that could have them feeling like they weren't being the protector, or they weren't, providing what they need to provide at that time when something like that happens. So that's
Hmm.
another trauma. If you're a victim of violence, that can be another reason. It probably wasn't childhood. It can definitely be an experience that men have, even as an adult, that would cause trauma, and for them to react and have behaviors for some reason if it's not resolved. Because when I was reading all this information, I'm like, man, I wonder if he ever felt like he needed therapy to get past that. Because one, for somebody to put something like that up to your head, two, of my children being there, he feels like he had to protect them, and for them to see that happen, that had to be, really,
Hmm.
a hard pill for him to swallow.
Well, that's because their manhood was challenged at a young
Right.
age.
Mm-hmm.
And when your mother, that's if their mother was there, I don't know the whole story, but if their mother was there, and uh I remember walking my youngest son home from school,
Mm-hmm.
which was down the street, and it was these teenager kids coming from Inglewood High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking my youngest son home from school, and my youngest son grabbed my hand real tight,
Mm-hmm.
and his fist was balled. But we were about to cross the street. So I wasn't, I was like, why is he? That's pretty, you grabbing it a little bit too heavy, little boy,
Right.
you
Right.
know? And so I looked down, I saw his fist, his right, okay, he had his left hand had my right hand, and then his right hand was balled up in a fist.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked around us, and there was some teenagers coming from school.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, your manhood is not being tested right now, baby.
Right, right,
Not right now.
right,
It's
right,
gonna be tested in a lot of time, but not
right,
right. Mama got you. I know
right,
how to,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
Right, but
But
that's the instinct they're born with.
their manhood is being tested, and
Hmm.
it's such a scary thing to have your mother or your father in a position where you can't protect them as a child.
Right, and as you
And
said that, now
mhm,
you're bringing that up. My question was how my husband felt. I really needed to probably see how my son felt in that situation too, because my son feeling like he was saying that happened to his stepfather, that could have been traumatized. I'm sure it was. I mean, he's gone now. I
yeah,
can't go back and ask him, but I never thought to ask him when he got older if that affected him in any kind of way.
yeah. And my son was like 6 or 7, no, about 5 or 6 years old. He was
Hmm.
just starting elementary. And I was
Yeah.
just like from preschool. And I was just like, it starts early when and it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna tell you, your company, your subscribers and the people
Hmm.
in the chat, well, who are the people in the chat,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter if it's a male or a female.
Right. No, it doesn't.
Kids want to protect their parents.
Right.
And as they get older, and the reason why I'm starting it from the kid is because
Mm.
that's how they grow. And they
Right.
grow into that protective type of situation. If they can't protect you, they're gonna have that mentality. If they
Right.
can't provide or protect, a man needs to feel needed, but
Right.
in the way that he needs to feel needed. That's
Hmm.
protecting you, that's loving you, that's
Right.
making sure that you are not gonna go to nobody else.
Right.
That's providing for you, making
Right.
sure he has a good enough job, if not the same equivalent as your income, if
Hmm.
not more. Or
Right.
if he's just bringing in some, he has a safe so.
Right.
And man needs to feel superior. And
Right.
when they don't, it goes back to their childhood of how they do not feel. They just it's just the subject that it's the same. They don't feel as though they're rising to the top.
Right. Exactly.
Does that make sense? I
Yeah,
hope that
like they're
makes
not fulfilling
sense.
their manhood.
Exact. Thank you. Thank you, it's
Hmm.
Gamma's World. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
not, thank you for that. Because, yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's
Yeah.
not fulfilling the type of manhood that they are.
Yeah.
And I see my son, my youngest son, with him and his girlfriend, and he's like, I seen the text message, and he was like, I'm being a man. A man is supposed to provide and protect and take care of his woman and his family.
Hmm.
And I'm like, boy, this is when he was
Right.
16.
Yeah.
Boy, you only 16 years old.
But
You
he has
gotta
the right
relax.
idea, but it's just a
You,
matter of if you're having trauma, that's mixed into that. But you do want your boys to feel like that, though.
yeah, you want them to feel like that, but at the same time, that could be part of their trauma, as
Right.
though they're like, it's what is the word? They feel pressed
Right.
to be the man that they desire to be outside of the father who
Hmm.
birthed them. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. They just up. They got a lot of challenges. They got challenges that come within them. A lot of them, the
Hmm.
challenges are not even taught. They just feel that as being a male. I believe sometimes.
Hmm.
For sure.
Just like James Brown. James Brown had to fight with one hand. He
No,
had to
what's the
fight
story
with
on that?
one. Huh?
What's the story on that? I never heard about that.
You didn't see the James Brown documentary or the James Brown movie?
Oh yeah, I probably fell asleep 9 times out of 10. I fell
Oh,
asleep to all movies. All movies I fall asleep. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets the full movie out of me.
girl, he had one hand wrapped behind his back, and the other, and he was only about 5'5". He was a little stature
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
And he learned how to fight with one hand. And he will whoop folks behinds.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make her
James
watch it.
Brown was he had to. I
Yeah.
look at the people, but I'm old school. I'm 50, so
Mhm.
I've been through a lot of the rights of African Americans. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying, and what they've been through, and I grew up with them, as you have done so too, and a
Yeah.
lot of people in the chat.
Mhm.
But yeah, that man
Yeah.
walked from Mississippi. He walked from wherever he was born all the way to where he was going on barefoot.
Oh, I gotta look at that movie again because I
Oh
definitely fell
yeah.
asleep. That was actually the last movie I took my dad to go see before he passed away.
It's
It's the
a
last movie we
humbling
saw.
movie.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I look at that again.
Hmm.
Man.
It's very humbling how our ancestors and those who have come thy far to actually get to where they had to go in order for our great grandparents and then our great great grandparents and our grandparents and then our mothers and fathers get
Yeah.
to where they're at.
Right. Right.
And then they developed us and we have more privilege, and now our kids have more privilege, now our grandkids have more privileges.
Right. Right.
But sticking
Absolutely.
on your subject, I want to go back to your subject.
Mhm.
It's a lot of I wanted, oh my God, I wanted my brother to come up here and
Mhm.
talk to you. Because girl,
Yeah.
he could speak some knowledge
Yeah.
and he could talk about it.
Yeah.
Um, but he's doing what he gotta do. But the thing is that um there's a lot, and
Right.
there's a lot that a lot of African American men go through. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
It is.
saying?
It is. It really
And
is.
yeah, and then they were put in jail you know, um, for green grass, just to
Right.
be,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
and it's six
Mhm.
ounces, and you
Right.
get, you get years for that, and
Right.
now this shit is free
Because you live in a certain state,
if
basically.
you live in a certain state, and now it's
Mhm.
free,
Right.
and it was somebody had brought up uh somebody was talking about it yesterday in their chat
Mhm.
about the Rock Hudson and everybody else situation when it came to that. But the
Mhm.
thing is that they didn't make it legal in certain states until a Caucasian or an Italian man came into the picture,
Yeah.
and they were, Rock Hudson, he was diagnosed with, you know,
Yeah.
the ABCs,
Uh-huh.
through Z's.
Yeah.
And he said what kept him going was, the green grass. And
Yeah.
then that's when they start taking it. And then remember that diver for the Olympics that dived into the pool, but he hit his head and he
Yeah, a long
bled.
time ago.
Yeah.
Years and years ago. Yeah.
And he was died, and that's when they really start taking it into consideration and they
Mhm.
start speaking on it. But the
Mhm.
thing is that you locked a lot of our African American
Right.
men
In the
up.
meantime.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's abuse too.
Right.
And I've mentioned that in the past in this sector. I said a lot of the company that's kept in this sector is used to abuse,
Yeah.
because how can you tolerate it?
Right.
How do
Exactly.
you tolerate it?
Mhm.
And I'm talking about male and females. How do you
Right.
tolerate being verbally all their abuse come in different ways, shapes, and forms?
Absolutely. Absolutely does.
And we're getting older. It's Gamma's world.
Mhm.
We're not getting younger.
Yes.
We're getting older, honey. So at
Mhm.
the end of the day, we have to clear our brains.
Right.
And we have to stay mentally equipped in order for us to have a better future as we get into our elderly age.
Yes, and if we're not equipped, we got to learn the tools to get equipped because some people honestly
Exactly.
don't know. They honestly don't know.
Exactly. And that's where you come in. You're part of that
Mhm.
puzzle. That's
Yeah.
where you come in.
because that is my goal for whatever I bring. I definitely want to bring solutions. I don't like even having topics if we can't discuss, like what are some of the solutions are to something, because
Right.
then that leaves the person that is in that same situation without any resolve, and that was the situation they was in before we even talked about it. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
And that's why, oh, Mark is here. Let Mark come
Yes,
up and give a description. I mean, speak and speak. I would
yeah.
love to hear what he has to say.
Mark
Mark
finally
is an
just got here.
intelligent young man. He's
He
very
is intelligent.
intelligent.
He is wise beyond his years.
Yeah, he's very wise.
Let me
Come on up,
see.
Mark. Let's have a discussion because I would love to see. I'm sorry, Seretinus. I wasn't looking at the chat. Whoever said hi to me, hi. I wasn't looking at the chat because I drove in and I got parked and now I'm in the house.
Yes.
Mark, come up so we can have a strong male opinion. You're a
Mhm.
strong male.
Yes, let me see. Marcus said hi to Traquel. And Saret said, I agree, blessings. Hey, Mark, she said, let me see if I missed anybody. Father Fred, if you're still here, hey, how you doing? Walker 42, how you doing? Yes. So yeah,
But
it
this
is.
is a very good topic, though. This is a
Mhm.
very, very good topic.
Yeah.
And let me explain to you why I think it's a very good topic because Isgamma's world, a lot of people don't like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like to dig deep into therapy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're giving them a place to vent and to talk.
Mm-hmm. Right. How you doing, Bert?
What's up? What's up? How you doing,
What's up, boo?
Gamma and
How you
Blessings?
doing, honey?
How are y'all doing?
We doing
We doing good.
That's great.
good. Yeah. We were just
I want
having.
to hear what you got to say.
What are we talking about? What
I
we
was just
talking about?
so I don't even think Mark was probably here in the beginning. In the beginning, we were starting to talk about how unresolved trauma in men and how they what's some symptoms of what we can see, how they can use some tools to move past that, what caused the trauma, whether it's childhood or experiences that might be something like maybe a act of violence or like military or things like that are stressors on adult men. Let Lex stay outside, baby.
I mean, I guess you would have to go through trauma to actually, you
Yeah,
know what to say about that. I don't have
right, exactly.
no trauma. No, I don't have that. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I would say go talk to somebody. That'd be my advice.
yeah,
But African American men don't like. Well, I would just say men because she's making it more broader
yeah.
than just
Hmm.
African American men.
Hmm.
But I just think that people in general should just go and get therapy. But Mark, my question to you is,
Hey, Tanya.
why do you think that? Um, African American, I mean, why do you think that men have such a hard time dealing with issues? What is their trauma? Like your friends, because your friends don't know that you're up here with us. So
Hmm.
can you speak on like something that give us more of a more detailed experience? Like, because you have homeboys. So
Yeah.
and you grew up with homeboys. So I'm pretty sure since you never had certain experience, I'm pretty sure you was like, damn, ninja, what happened to you? You know what I'm saying? like ninja, like who didn't love you today? Who pissed in your Cheerios? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what experience have you had from your homeboys? Because you said that you've never dealt with trauma in your lifetime as a male. So, with your homeboys who you have, can you like, give us something?
I mean, like the guys I grew up with, I don't know like the personal traumas like that because like when I was coming up, like all my homeboys they didn't have like fathers and stuff. Like I was like the only one that had a father.
Hmm.
So a lot of things that they um went through or didn't go through. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I don't know.
This wasn't your story.
It just want my story. So a lot of times I could understand like what they would tell or what they would say, but I just ain't been through it. So it's like, what I'm saying, you can't really, how some people be like, I understand, but then the person
Yeah,
be like, no, you don't understand.
right. Do you feel like they were comfortable to talk with you about it, Mark? Or do you think they kind of maxed it? Like they were
I
too
mean, I mean, well, we was young then, so it was like, I mean, uh, I don't think it was like no bad trauma. I mean, I don't think. I mean, well, trauma ain't good, but
right.
I don't think it was nothing like serious, like serious. But I know I had one homeboy.
Hmm.
He told me he had trauma like growing up
Hmm.
because he was like always he wasn't stable. Like he
Yeah.
didn't have a stable place. Like
Right.
like he
Always
was
move
telling me
around.
about how he would come home. He came home from school one time and his whole house was gone. Like like the people that live in
Yeah.
like trailer homes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He told me he got off the bus and the house was just gone. And he was like, that was traumatizing because he was like,
Right.
like he didn't.
Damn.
It was like,
Did it catch on fire or was it what happened to the house?
no, I think it was like, well, I'm gonna laugh. I think it was like something whereas they just didn't pay the mortgage or
Don't
something.
make me laugh.
Also,
Oh,
it's like a mobile home that can be given
oh,
away.
Yeah,
so
Oh,
they lost the house.
yeah.
and that is traumatizing for a
Damn,
child
that's
because it's small
traumatizing.
and like
Yeah.
what might be small, like his things were inside. When you're a child, that's all you have, and if your things are gone, like that's traumatizing. That could definitely be traumatizing.
My own boy, he
Hi,
talked to me
Josh.
about like when he was younger, like he's a little older than me. He probably like 36.
Yes.
And all of
Hmm.
his siblings are
You
much
have to
older
pick up
than
the.
him. So when they was growing up, he said they used to like do things to him, not like sexual things, but like stuff that just was just traumatizing. Like they would lock him
Right.
in the closet until his mama came home. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh,
They would do,
what?
yeah, they would do stuff like that. And he
Hmm.
was like, for a long time he didn't talk to them because he remembered all those things. And then when they tried to come around, they try to like brush it under the rug or make it seem like everything was good, even though it
Wow.
happened so long ago. He just still, I guess that stuff is still in your head, how a
Yeah.
person treated you.
Right. Exactly. That's
Yeah, he probably don't even want to stay in your bedroom. Or I mean, like,
right.
you be having your room with the video games and stuff. He probably be like, nigga, who is that? Like,
Yeah,
Right.
who's coming in the house? Yeah,
yeah.
that could be traumatizing.
Chakal said that reminded her of a story she seen on YouTube. The lady got tired of her husband cheating and moved the trailer before he got home from work.
Oh yeah, yeah, I seen that. But it was just like that. Like the trailer was gone. Like it was just a plot of
I mean, it
land.
was
That was
real
it.
life or a movie.
No, I saw something like that on TikTok, but I don't know if it was like real or not. But
Oh, Chakal, was it real or YouTube, like a movie or something?
And they took the whole trailer off the land
Yeah,
the whole
yes,
trailer off the land.
because they missed a payment or two.
It might have been a thing where they were just like extremely late on their payments.
right.
Oh, wow.
And like stick built homes, they can't take it. They can just put you out. You know what I'm saying? Like over time. But
But I didn't
a
even think
mobile
that you
home, they
could,
can
I didn't
just
know you
wheel
could
that
rent.
up out of there.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
Oh, she said this one was in real life. She said this was a real life situation.
Wow. Do they have pictures of them taking it? Let me stop. That's only, you know what? That's only for my
Right.
that's
Mike probably
only,
had no idea.
that's, that's only for my entertainment. No, I
Wow.
don't need to see it because it ain't funny, but that's only for my entertainment.
Right.
Yeah.
Chakal,
Oh
you
my
gotta get see
God.
that. That is crazy. That is traumatizing. But when we talk about like childhood, like that would be part of his childhood. That I'm sure was traumatizing for him, but it's not no telling how that might impact his lifestyle of like finances or anything else as an adult in his 30s, 35, 40s.
But Well, when his growing up, the way, cause they didn't grow up the best either. They
Yeah.
grew up. Sometimes he said they didn't eat and all that stuff too. But
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
wow.
he
guy,
definitely
Wow.
I tell you, this guy is like this guy is one of the people that he just not gonna go back to that lifestyle. This
right.
dude saves everything.
Yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
Right.
penny
I knew
pinches. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
if he got a goal, I used to work with him. We used to work together. And when he got a
Uh-huh.
goal, if he trying to, cause he don't have like the support system that I have.
Yeah.
Like when it
Right.
come to him, he don't have nobody to call. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? He don't
Oh.
have his mom
Mm-hmm.
died and his dad. He got a dad.
Mm.
He got a dad that's his stepdad, but it was something he was telling me about how the stepdad tried to. His mama left everything to his stepdad, and he kind of felt
Oh.
Oh my
really
God.
that really took him through something because he said his mom didn't leave him anything. She
Yeah.
left it all to the
Ah.
stepdad,
So she left
and
him
Wow.
to dry. Oh man.
yeah. But
That's
he said
real
he still love his mama,
traumatizing.
but he just don't understand why she did that.
Right. He really
Man,
can.
So
yeah, because I'm
his
gonna leave my
stepdad,
kids something. If they blow it, they blow it. It ain't my fault. You know
yeah,
what I'm
Right.
saying?
yeah,
Man.
she
She
didn't
brought
leave
them
him
up.
nothing. She didn't leave
Yeah.
him anything. And
I
Wow.
remember when I was doing my second year in college, and my dude was just like, "Come get me, come get me," and
Yeah.
I came and got him, and him and his dad was on the front grass, literally. But I
Fighting.
mean, like, yes,
Oh my
that
God.
was for my entertainment. I did.
Right.
wow,
But that's traumatized. And Chacal said she bought property
Right.
without him knowing and just moved one day. He didn't know where she moved to either. Oh,
That's
Chacal,
crazy.
how can we look at that, Chacal?
Damn.
I like to
but
look at
that
that
sounds just
story.
like the TikTok I seen though. I didn't know it was a
It
real
might be
movie.
it. It might be. It might be on both platforms.
Yeah, that was
That's
exactly how it went.
crazy.
The husband was at work, and she pretty much like had everything moved before he got home.
She really picked up how do you do that?
Because you might
I
just call
mean,
somebody to come, relocate,
Them tractor trailers and
yeah,
stuff.
but how do you, I mean, don't you gotta pre-schedule that?
right.
She might have did reschedule it.
Yeah, she probably did schedule it.
She
Yeah.
probably did schedule it.
That's what
Damn.
Mr. Pickett said.
That
She
would be
just
traumatizing to me, period.
the best
I
people.
don't care. Yeah, I don't care if I'm a kid or an adult. That would be traumatizing to me.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
you just picked up my
Yeah, yeah,
house and bounced?
right. Your whole living situation is gone. Mr. Picklefoot says, see, that's the type of stuff that really messes with people over time. Yes.
Yes.
That's what good news. I got a new TV. Congratulations, Josh. Yeah. So yeah, those are things that I wish that I could get a hold of people like that and have a separate closed in session, like to give them some things that'll help them to find a way to work through that because I'm sure that he is forever traumatized because of that mark.
yeah. He
Yeah.
said that hurt him for a very long time. His mama didn't leave him nothing, and left it all to the stepdad. And the stepdad kind of like has a relationship with him when he wants to have one. You
Yeah.
know,
That will eat my spirit. If my mama don't leave me nothing, I'm digging her grave up. I'm I'm thinking she's gonna leave me something. I
Yeah.
can done some good things.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot just not leave me nothing. And you leave it to the stepdad, somebody that's not even my blood.
Right. Right.
yeah.
Hey,
I don't
Chris.
know, like what.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know what would make somebody do that though. I don't know.
Yeah.
hmm.
You never know what kind of trauma the mom suffered through either.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't
The
know because,
situation
like I
going
said,
on.
my ex-boyfriend was having a fight when I came and got that. I was just coming to get him and his clothes, and he was fighting his dad on the grass. And
Yeah.
his dad was he was an engineer at Northrop, and the mother was a baker. He lived in the same household, grew up in the same household with his mother and father.
Yeah. Something
I
was
didn't
going
even
on.
something was going on behind the doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kia said if they were married, that's how it works.
And you know
Wow.
what? They got four boys, and none of them are married.
Really? No, I think you're talking about what Mark's situation was.
Oh,
Was her boyfriend the husband? Were they married, Mark?
I don't think they was married though.
Oh, okay. Because that's
I no,
somehow
I don't believe they
oh,
was married because he didn't mention them being married. He said he just that was just a stepdad because like I said he was the youngest,
right.
so he probably ones were last in the house. So I guess he just kind of looked up to him, but I don't think they was ever married though.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah, that's
That's, I feel for my African American men. I love y'all.
I
I
know
think
that's
y'all are
true.
the best thing that hit God's green earth.
Yeah,
Y'all
absolutely.
bring in so much, just everything about
Mm-hmm.
African American men.
Mm-hmm.
They bring so much to the table.
Hey,
It's
Jamal.
it just has to be the strength.
Right,
It's the strength and it's the care because y'all need a lot of caring too.
right.
Y'all need a lot of love and y'all love to hug in our bosoms. And but it's true. I think if more African American men got fed very well, get fed
Mm,
and sat in their mama or their woman's bosom, and they loved up on their children and they providers and they protect, I think the household would be decent.
Absolutely.
Not
Hey,
yeah,
perfect, but just decent. You know
right.
what I'm
Hey,
yeah,
Angel
saying?
Mom. I do want to speak to Angel Mom and Brielle, who just came in. Thank
Hey,
y'all.
Angel Mom. Hey, Andrea.
Yes.
yeah.
So,
It don't take much. It just take like you said, it's just the little things. You
It's
know
just
what I'm saying?
appreciation. Just
It
get y'all
don't
some
take much.
socks. Y'all
right.
want socks and Nike. That's that's it. They
Oh my God. Yes.
just want socks and Nike and get them a nice little t-shirt. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
If they love socks and but to I'm a
Yeah.
boy's mom, Mark. So I'm sorry. I'm a boy's mom. I
You
got two
Right.
cool?
boys.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yes.
So and my kids don't ask for much, just for me to love up on them. Even though
Yes.
they get on my goddamn nerves, but that's
But
another day.
yeah,
Um,
I'm glad I didn't go through a lot of. I didn't go through any trauma. I'm not even gonna say a
Yeah.
lot. I didn't go through any trauma.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, but I know that's not everybody's story, and
Yeah.
it'd be sad to hear what people went through growing up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm
but you're not the first.
right.
You're yeah. There's other men out there who didn't go through that. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Gamma.
No, I was just gonna say, Mark, if you have people in your life that you don't have stories like that, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a video compiling all the information that I got. So just refer them to that video, which might give them some insight on some of the things that they might place in their mind, some of the things they've been feeling, so they can become more familiar with the what how to identify some of the things they may be feeling and a way to navigate, getting help for it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let me see. Men also need fathers. Yes, they definitely do. Let me see. What were y'all discussing? We were talking about unresolved trauma in men. Unresolved trauma. I don't know why I got feedback. Yes, that was the topic.
Like
I gave
my homeboy, who's one of my best of friends, he's Jamaican, and he's the same as Mark. Like he didn't go through the things that I went through.
mm-hmm,
And I remember him saying to me, he said, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "What happened to you?"
mm-hmm.
From
Right.
high, because we've been friends since high school. But out of high school, he was like, "What happened to you?" And the thing is that the things that I will bring up, I was more dominant and I was more
Mhm.
aggressive,
So he knew
and
that
he
something
wasn't.
happened.
Yeah, and it wasn't the same as my high school
Right.
attitude.
Innocence right there. Hey, booby. Right.
Yeah. And the thing is that I think when real life kicks in with us as
Mhm.
young adults into adulthood,
Right.
Mhm.
I think there's trauma that comes into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, childhood drama, childhood trauma is that that's only one form of trauma. You can definitely be, you can be well into your 30s, 40s, 50s and suffer through trauma. Like we said earlier, that it could be accidents, it could be loss of loved ones, it could be, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things, financial stress, a lot of things that can
Yeah,
be traumatized into an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we may have missed some childhood trauma don't mean that trauma is not to come.
yeah,
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly. And that's what everybody has to understand is that nobody's life is perfect.
right.
yep,
I
Absolutely.
can't deal with perfect people. I like people that's not perfect because I need to learn shit. Like, I
yeah,
want to know what the hell did you learn today? Did you learn something today? What the
Right,
hell did you learn?
exactly.
Because I may
Exactly.
need to learn that shit too. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
need to learn some shit today. What
right.
did you learn? I can't be around perfect people.
Right. I
You
think we got to
know,
be equipped to know that anything can happen in our life. So when things are not happening in our lives, we need to use a little bit of that time to research and get information on how to deal with different things that may happen, to put the tools in our box so we'll know how to navigate through that if it happens.
yeah,
Because some things are evident
yeah,
when you talk about stuff like loss of loved ones, something you know that's going to happen. That's stuff that we don't have to wait to the day of to grieve about that. You can learn about grief at any time. When I went to college, when nobody was passing away around me at that time, I had to take a grief class. Like there was a whole class, whole semester on grief.
hmm,
yeah. What did you go for psychology?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see, Mr. Pickens.
Girl,
You
that's
can
a
go ahead
hard
and put
class.
your
That's a
things
hard
up there.
major right there. I give kudos to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's a hard major.
Now look at
But
this. Oh no, I didn't major in. I had a class in psychology.
oh, a class in
Yeah,
psychology.
a
Oh,
class in
okay.
psychology, and then I had a class of grief. So, like, I
Oh,
was just saying, like, with grief, that's just one of the traumas that we all are gonna encounter. Like, everybody doesn't have to go find out how do I deal with getting off maybe of drugs or something like that. If you don't anticipate getting on drugs, but we know across the board, everybody's going to suffer grief at some time. So that's something we can prepare ourselves for. Everybody knows that it's very possible that you might get into a relationship that may not work out due to a lot of different reasons, but reasons we can start factoring in right now. I mean, we know it might be communication. We can work on that. We know it might be financial. We can work on that. You know, some things we can do preventive, and we don't have to wait until that trauma comes into our life to have a better mindset on it, and it'll give us what we need to get through it when it comes, even if it's
I
not
agree.
right now. And Mr. Picklefoot said social media will have people thinking that things are perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
People that look at social media as a guideline to their lifestyles usually are going to be devastated in the end because you don't see the backstory in it. My sister said either we're coming out of something or going into something. Right, exactly. That I don't know
Mm-hmm.
nobody who hit a certain age that 40 it was perfect, 50 was perfect, 60 was perfect. I don't know nobody like that. All I know is that people go through things, you go through phases and stages in your life, and you just have to get through it when it comes.
Be Well magazine. That's Psalms 23.
Yeah, yeah,
There you
okay.
go. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Either
Yes,
we going through or we coming out.
that's right. Always, always.
Mm-hmm.
Everything don't have to be so major or whatever, but definitely.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we gotta stay prayed up and embrace what things feel like they're going okay at that time. Hey Nicole. Yeah.
But you know what? We grieve on a lot of stuff. Grieving is not just for the perished ones.
No, it can be like
Grieving
you
can
have a job,
be,
you could have lost a job, you could have lost a house, you
mm-hmm,
could feel like you're losing your mind. Like
mm-hmm,
anything you feel like you can
mm-hmm,
be at a loss of it. You really literally can't lose anything. You
oh
mm-hmm.
can't
wow, I
lose
never
it.
look at it like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have to, honey. How old are you? You what, 27, 20, 25 to 27? How old are you, Mark?
No, I'm 31.
31, 51.
Oh, you're in your younger 30s.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's life takes its course,
Right.
and you will grieve through stuff you never thought you would grieve through.
Hmm.
It may be the loss of a dog
Right.
or a cat.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
At my mother's birthday party 3 years ago, my auntie was in the bathroom crying her eyes out. And I said, "What is wrong?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to use the restroom. I was like, "Can you get out? Like, get
Yeah.
out." You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've been in there long enough. Get out.
Yeah.
Boo boo at your own house or your motel, wherever you at. Hotel, motel, don't matter.
Yeah.
And she opened up the door and she was just in tears. And I said, "What is wrong?" I closed the door because I didn't want nobody to see her like that. And
Yeah.
I said, "What's wrong?" And she was still grieving her dog. But
Yeah.
my mother had a dog.
Yeah. Oh,
And
she, yeah.
yeah, so it
Mhm.
was just her grieving. You can grieve anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Grieving doesn't come just in passing of a loved
Right.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mr. Picklefoot said, and I feel like back then growing up in our black family, we were conditioned to sweep trauma under and mental illness under the rug, which made it worse as we become adults. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
agree.
problem.
Mhm.
That's the problem why we can't cope with it
Mhm.
and why we don't want to seek therapy because we've been taught to disregard it, to pretend like it didn't happen, whatever it is,
Mhm. That silent thing.
whatever it is. Yeah, the silent thing that you were talking about. Let me see.
Mhm.
And that triggered it. Oh, yeah, the dog triggered it. It sounds like, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
That definitely triggered it.
Yes, but everybody in the chat, make sure you I hope it'll drop tomorrow. If not, what are we at? This is Monday. Definitely by Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a video on unresolved trauma in men. So make sure y'all check that video out and look all the way through it. If you are a man or if you have a male in your family or your friends or your life, period, make sure that you just look through it so that you can know how you can be a help. If you're a man, you can know what steps you can do to cope and try to resolve your trauma that you may have gotten as a child or as an adult. It doesn't matter, just unresolved trauma. Let me see exactly, Mr. Picklefoot. My sister said, Abriel said exactly, Mr. Picklefoot, and I'm breaking that generational curse with my children. Okay, good. As your mom said, what goes on in the house stays in the house is what started it. That's what started it, Angel Mom, and
Yeah.
especially in men. They had to be the one to protect that. The women, everybody was to hold a secret, but the men had to protect the secret. They had to make sure it stayed secret. Let me say, Brielle said I was going to talk about mental health awareness tonight on my channel. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll be over there, and I hope that I'm a. I think I am subscribed to her. I want to
Yeah.
hear this.
What time
Do
is
you
it,
mind if I
Brielle?
may join? If I join, because I'll be taking my night medication.
Oh, what time?
But
That's what time it is. I thought you gonna speak on it now. Brielle, what time are you coming on? Let me see. Mr. Picklefoot said, "B1 Magazine." Brielle, I salute you for that so much. Give them that fresh slate to build from to continue your healing journey as well. Absolutely,
amen.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, baby.
Yes, Abrielle
Yeah.
said yes. Come on. Yes, she said, "Come on, blessings." But what time, Abrielle? Are you coming on right now? Because I'm about to leave off. I'll tune into that, Abrielle. I'm about to close up here. I might work on a little bit of the video tonight or whatever. But if you're coming on, I can do it after that. What time are you coming on? So we'll know. Let me see. Not tonight. I changed the topic. So the one that you were going to talk about when you came on at 6:30. Okay, okay. She went on earlier, so she was saying that's what she was going to do.
Oh, that's
Okay,
another good topic, though.
yeah.
Detaching.
Yeah, it was a good live I was
Ooh,
on it before I did this one. Go
yes,
back and finish this.
yes.
Beginning was really good.
Detaching.
Yeah,
Let's go. I'm ready for that. And
yes.
then you know what? You know what's another like a follow-up?
Uh-huh.
It's Gamma's World. If you don't mind me giving uh, just
Hmm.
another suggestion
Hmm.
is following up with women who are traumatized.
Yes, we can do. Yeah, we
And
can do
by
that. We just
who?
did the men because today's the men's room for men. That's why we highlight men
Hmm.
every Monday here. But yeah, on any other day, yeah, we can talk about that. And
Girl, I
women,
wish I had some cookies. I will send them to you. My
Girl,
cousin, she know how to make the best chocolate chip, whatever type of cookies you want.
does
You and
she?
Mark, I was sent.
I
Ooh,
love me a cookie. Let me
my
see.
thighs got a little bit bigger.
Oh my God. B1 Magazine said that's a good topic. The work I did at the Alma Center working with men. Yeah, my sister used to work at a center working with men. So it was with men who weren't they men that were just like trying to fight. Let me see what she said. She might I know it was domestic violence. I think some of them were like fighting for their children. Let me see. That was a good topic. The work I did at the Alma Center working with men with the history of domestic violence. Okay. It was the my most rewarding ever work ever. Great topic, sister. Yes. Yeah, I remember when you used to work there. You used to love that job. And Brielle said, "Not tonight, sis." Okay. Angel Mom said, "I'm dropping a video on grieving mothers tomorrow, y'all. She's dropping that tomorrow. Turn on your notifications."
Wait a
Yeah,
minute, Angel Mom did that?
yes,
Angel,
she's
was
gonna
it
drop
Angel
a video
Mom?
on grieving moms tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Are you guys gonna set the notifications so I can? Because
What's the
I'll
video?
be moving
You
and
gotta set your
grooving.
notification, not a live, a video. She's
Oh, it's
gonna
just gonna be a video.
yeah,
It's not
video.
gonna be live.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
I'll
set
watch
your
the
notification.
video. I'll
Yes.
definitely watch the video.
Okay, good. Everybody make sure we take a look at that video, whether you're a grieving mom or not. You may know someone or you may in the future know of someone, but make sure y'all watch that video. Mr. Picklefoot said, I'm grateful y'all are bringing these topics to the surface. Keep up the great work, ladies. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mr. Picklefoot. Make sure by hopefully tomorrow, but by Wednesday, the video on this topic uh, uh, in its entirety will be dropped. Like I was saying before, it'll be talking about let me see. It's going to be talking about
What?
the definition of trauma and unresolved trauma, suppressing emotions, the fear of weakness, combat trauma, the violence, financial stress, symptoms, the impact it has in relationships like fatherhood, friendships, romantic and generational impacts, and the challenges of seeking help. Why men are challenged to even seek help, and then it's just going to conclude with what the reality is of it and how men can go about getting help for that after they can recognize where their trauma is. A lot of people live through trauma; they don't even know where they don't even recognize that they were traumatized with something. Let me see. Everyone said, let's see. Hey, Tara, you made it in. You
There was a good one with Be Well. Yes, they don't talk about men that are DV victims. You know, ooh, that's gonna be a good.
yeah,
I'm
we talked
and
about.
real girl.
She said,
You
"Be
gonna
well."
make me get a membership.
That
I
that
like topics like that. I like communication like this.
yeah. Be Will Magazine said,
Mhm.
Angel Mom, I'll be checking it out. Raw is saying, hey to Chris. Be Will Magazine said, Abriel, yes, even with society see many men as preparate, prep, perpetrators. Often as children, they are victims first. Absolutely. Hi, Nikki. Billy, how you doing? She said, I'm late. Hello, got my word in chat. Thanks for coming in, Nikki. I most definitely will, Mr. Picklefoot said. Okay. B1 Magazine said, trauma in men is an excellent topic. Yes, it is. Abriel said, be well. That's true. What up, Rob? Mr. Picklefoot said. And Brielle said, I love those kind of deep topics too. Yes, all of the topics that I have for the men are deep topics. That's why I asked the men to come over so that if they're not needing to work through whatever the topic is, for them, they have friends, they have family or whatever, they can still take the information and help them with it. So that was our topic. We still gotta pick out what our topic is for next Monday. I try to run through what I have here for y'all so that we'll know what we're gonna have for next Monday, but I might just pick one out. But I definitely do want to
Mhm.
be able to drop a video with all the information that I got so that it can be reference and someone can go back to it. Instead of it being on a live stream, it'll actually be a video that people can, if they're searching, trauma and men or something, it'll come up for them as information. Ross said, what up, bro? Um, hey, lovely Tracy Anderson. Yes. Okay. Good, Abrielle. She said this was good. Okay. Thanks for blessings. Thanks for coming up on the panel. I appreciate
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome. I really did enjoy you and Mark. You guys are wonderful people. Mark, I'm still cheerleading for you, even in the bushes, boo. You don't come on at
I,
all, but
I
I
Right.
still
appreciate
be
that.
cheerlead. I'm still your cheerleader. Don't let them don't let nobody just change your mind about me. I'm a good person. I'm
Oh
good.
no, yeah, that's one thing. Somebody, I'm a very opinionated person, and I'm one of them people that you can't tell me about somebody. I gotta do the research myself and
You
see.
gotta feel it for yourself.
Nah, I ain't.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't invite. I'm not easily persuaded at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I appreciate that about you. You have a strong personality. It's
Yeah.
Gamma's World. Thank you for allowing me up. I do appreciate you. The
Okay.
chat, thank you for respecting me and me and
Of
Mark up
course.
here on the channel.
Yeah.
This was a great chat. It's Gamma's World. I wish you nothing but great luck, honey.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
same
you
here.
know
Same
that.
Appreciate
here.
Okay.
it. All
You
right.
guys have
Thanks,
a good
Mark.
evening.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.
Good night. Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Okay, good night, Mark. Okay, Mr. Picklefoot said y'all are creating the safe spaces for people who don't usually get to talk about these type of things. Yes, Mark, absolutely. It's almost like I do have a nurturing program coming up January 4th for anybody who wants to participate in it. I ran one last year and last February. I think it started on February 4th. This year be starting on January 4th. So if you want to be a part of that nurturing program where we discuss some intimate topics with a limited group of people, it will probably be between 10 and 15 people, excuse me, who can participate in the program. And then it's an 8-week session. We come together, it'll probably be every Sunday at 5 o'clock. We'll come together every Sunday, 5 o'clock, and have like an hour, hour and a half to talk through some things about mainly it'll be talking about the spices of life, communicating, and things with I statements, placing blame, all of those things. We want to dig up a little bit about our childhoods and how that can cause us to perceive things as an adult, all of that. Not Surrett. Yeah, Surrett was a part of the nurture program last year, and Chris. I don't know if anybody else in this chat was a part of that nurture program, but it was really nice. We did an 8-week session, had a graduation at the end, and so I'm starting that back up again. I decided I might do that once a year. I said maybe once a year I'll do that. So that because it's a pretty big commitment for other people. It might not be a commitment for me because I'm here anyways, but it's a big commitment for other people to try to make it 8 weeks without, without being absent and things like that. So hopefully you guys will pick up on that, be one of the 10 to 15 people who can participate in it. And Mr. Picklefoot and like Mark or Two Raw or Raw, like I'm still called to. And Raw, maybe we can get some men in the class this time because we only had females in there last time, so that you guys can get something out of it too. But you guys have a good night. Thanks for everybody who came in. Again, everybody who came in the panel. Thanks for all that green in the screen. Thanks to my moderators who came into the chat. And I will see y'all later. All the other subscribers, sorry, all the other subscribers who are not green to the screen as well. Thanks so much, y'all. Please catch the replay of Justice's last live. Also, Justice did a live on dementia and Alzheimer's, I think it was. I don't know her. I know that's what it was about, but I don't know her title. I don't know what she did about the title, but that's the discussion she had. So please go ahead and check out that live. Saret did a poem on there about the I think it was on dementia or either Alzheimer's. I don't know which one she did. I couldn't stay because I had to start my live, but for sure, go ahead and catch the replay of Justice's live. Okay. Let me see. Good night to Rob. See you later. Let's see. Okay, got that. Oh, also catch Abrielle's replay. Abrielle had a really good live. I had to come. I had both of them going on both of my phones, y'all. Abrielle did a really good live on detaching. So I was over there in that chat as long as I could stay. I still have to go back and finish the rest of that one where she has some really good information on detaching, some good talking about some good experiences, just a good conversation. She's having that conversation every Monday. Every Monday 6:30, right? Am I right? Or 6 o'clock? No, it must have been 6 o'clock because I came on 6:30. Every Monday, 6 o'clock, she has this going on. So if you want to get that information, the basis of that is going to be. I don't know if it's always parenting. I don't know if it'll be always parenting, but whatever. She has a co-host that she does on Mondays. They do that every Monday, 6 o'clock. So it's to get tuned into that. Or if you're not able to make it at that 6 o'clock, catch those replays because those are some really good lives every Monday on there over there also. Okay, Mr. Pickford said, I'm watching a detaching one. Next after this, good. Mr. Pickford, thanks. Ariel said, it was so good. I love those kind of conversations. Oh, okay, 7 p.m. Okay, it is. So it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So let's say, no, it's about everything. Oh, it's about everything. I thought it was about parenting. Okay, it's about everything. It can be about anything. She just has a co-host, and I guess they run the topics based on whatever it is that they bring up. Y'all gotta stay tuned. Okay. All right. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks. See y'all.